Not all content shows up in DesignView. Here I have some content. This is a embedded code that I got from Google on a calendar. If I go down here to the right corner and view it in a browser, it shows up. If I go over here and view it in LiveView, it shows up. If I go here and view it in DesignView, it does not. That's because this content, an iframe, not all content will show up in DesignView. In this case, an iframe is a window that's opened up on a browser that accesses another browser or window. In this case, it's this. So it would not. It needs the resources that it finds in a browser not to display that. And in DesignView, you don't have those resources. Now in LiveView, you do. It should show up in LiveView. The other thing is site definition. Even if you're just playing around with something, you should always do site definition very first thing. All you do is new site. I'm going to show you what I've got here so you can see. I'm going to do manage site, but you would do new site. You need to do your site first. Your site set up first, even if you're not putting it, even if you're just doing a local testing server. You need to have a XAMPP server. For those of you, it's XAMPP. If you're using Apple, I don't know the setup there. I think you can put an XAMPP on there, but you have to look. Let me close out of here. I've talked about this before. Close. Okay, if you go here and type in, this is what you need. There's also one that has XAMPP and Batami. I would do that one because later on when you do WordPress, and you will do WordPress, you'll want that. So what Batami does is it sets up your MySQL database for you and it connects it to your server so you don't have to do that. So whenever you do, like, I would do this. I would do this one if you can, or this one here, Batami for example. That's what I have on mine, and what it does is it connects your MySQL database. It sets that up for you so you can start rocking and rolling with WordPress when you get ready to do that. Okay, so what I was going to show you here now, if you have, let's do a new file here. If you have just regular plain text, that should show up. I'm just going to do a plain document. Like if I go down here and type a P tag, and I go to, I'll hit save and delete it. Okay. If I go to LiveView, that should show up, and it does. And if I go to DesignView, that should show up because it's just plain HTML. It's not any special resources aren't needed. Browser resources aren't needed to display it, or plugins aren't needed that you would find in a browser to play it. So that would show, but LiveView, it shows most things. And then DesignView only shows, like, my experience is it only shows, like, you know, HTML stuff. There's a lot that doesn't show up in DesignView, like things that are plugins and stuff. I don't know if an image will show up. Let me try that. Oh, I don't have any images in here. Hang on. Let's see if I can get one. we'll use this one. This file's outside the root folder. Your root folder is, would you like to copy the file here now? Yeah, we'll say yes. And we're going to make a folder for images. So new folder, and then IMG, open. And save it there. Okay. Now, in DesignView, in this, in the browser, it shows up. And so does that. So that works. And then in DesignView, that shows up. And in LiveView, that shows up. I don't know what else. I wanted to talk to you about site setup. Let me delete this stuff out of here. I'll leave it. And then I'm going to delete this image too because I don't want this on here. Okay. What I want to show you is whenever y'all start a new project or you're just playing around and you're just going to do some coding, random coding on an HTML page just to practice your coding, you always need to set up a site. Always. So you do new site. Now I'm going to show you how. I've already got one set up for this one. So I'm going to do site, manage site. And this site that I'm working in right here is form testing. So I'm just going to edit because it's already been created. This is just a basic site setup. But even if you're not going to upload those pages to a remote server, you still need to do a site. And you need to do a local network. Here, your servers are very important. This is the testing server. And you have to have a testing server, especially if you're going to develop in PHP. And I know PHP sounds like it's really daunting. It's not. I'm not a rocket scientist. I do this for a hobby, and I know PHP. Just go to W3 Schools and do the PHP tutorial. You can do a little bit every day, and you'll learn PHP in a week. It's fine. Don't sweat it. You can learn PHP fast. Walk through the tutorials. Okay. Again, y'all, I just do this as a hobby, and if I can learn it, y'all can learn it. All right, so what you're doing here, I'm going to hit this little pencil so you can see how I set this up. You'll get this little form box with these 4 fields. You're going to name your server, whatever you want to name it, it doesn't matter. The connection you're using for a testing local server is local network. Now, this is on my XAMPP server. Remember we talked about XAMPP. When you install XAMPP, everything goes into all your file folders. Let me go back. On my case, I defaulted. So my XAMPP server defaults onto my C drive. This is it. All your folders for all your websites and your sites, period, Adobe sites, go in the htdocs folder. Okay, so here you can see I've got a bunch of stuff. Now we're using the form testing site, right? Now I'm going to hit cancel because I've already got that selected. But when you get to this form field, okay, so the first form field, you just name it whatever. The second form field, you're going to do local network. The third form field, you're going to click this icon and navigate to where your site folder is going to be. Now, if you haven't created one, you can click new folder and it'll name it in there, and then you can select that folder. Okay, this form field right here is the tricky one. Your local host is your XAMPP htdocs path, okay? Instead of writing that out, you're going to write the word localhost. This line slant to the right here, they slant back to the left here, so It's tricky. I'm just telling you, it'll mess you up if you don't pay attention. But your folder is the same thing as here. Everything's the same. This is the same. It's going to be form testing here, form testing here. That's tricky. Okay, then you go to your advanced tab, and you'll have this, I think, to start out with. What you want to do is pick PHP MySQL. You're going to be a PHP developer. It's fine. I promise you, you can learn it. Do that. Because you're going to be doing the W3 school tutorial, and you'll need to be able to have a place to practice that coding that they give you. Y'all, this W3 tutorial, if y'all don't know about it, let me show it to you. All you do is go W3 schools, and then you do PHP. Well, if you don't do PHP, this will give you a whole. See right here, all of this is free. If you don't do PHP, in the search, you can see all what you've got. But here it is, PHP, learn PHP. Look how good it's laid out. There's all these chapters. Just pick a chapter while you're drinking your coffee. They give you all these. You don't have to learn the whole thing in a day, but see, you can take this code and practice it. You can click it here. They have one, but this is PHP right here. It's just a PHP tag and a couple of little simple commands. But this tutorial will teach you PHP, and you can take this code and put it in Dreamweaver and play with it there if you've got a PHP testing site set up. That's why I want y'all to do that. Let me show you. PHP, it has to be a PHP page, so we're going to do that. We'll just save. Okay, go to CodeView. I do better in CodeView. All right, so now I'm going to paste that code in there. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so now I've got most of this code. I just need this. Control C, Control V, Control V. Okay. Now, if you hit F12, see, it shows up. If you go here in LiveView, see, it shows up. If you go into DesignView, it doesn't show up. So if you're developing PHP, some things don't show up in DesignView. Just use LiveView. It's good. Really and truly, y'all should learn to code in CodeView. I'm just telling you, you need to learn that. There's this thing called Embed. It's E-M-M-E-T. Might be E. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. This Embed cheat sheet. Y'all, this thing right here is fabulous. I can get it to load. If you type, like if you want a paragraph tag, Dreamweaver has Embed built in. So all you have to do is type the P and hit tab, and it puts it in there. Okay? If you want an image tag, all you have to do is type IMG and hit tab, and it puts it in there. The code hints are over here on this cheat sheet, but they're more in depth. Like this one right here, this list, there's multiplications. So if you wanted an unordered list, if you wanted a list, you would do, like you could do unordered list, right? Because that's the first tag when you're making a list item. And then you would do something like that, okay? The list item is nested, so you use that little anchor. But this tells you about all those little symbols. Like this is a child, this is multiplication. So I'll show you that in a minute. So all you do is that, and then you type tab, and it'll do all the coding for you. If you want to do 5 list points items like they showed you there in that cheat sheet, you can just do that and it'll type it in there for you. It saves you a lot on coding. Again, y'all think that this is really hard. It's not. I do this as a hobby. It's not hard. Don't get in your head about it. It's hard. You'll psych yourself out. Okay, what else do I want to show you? So first of all, get in the, whenever you open your window to play in Dreamweaver, build a site. Okay, and the hardest thing on this, so when you're building just a basic site and you're not going to do a remote server yet, you can just put in your local site folder. You can just do a testing server, and then later on you can connect to the remote server. But this is my testing server. I filled out these 4 form fields. This is how I filled them out. I did the advanced tab. I selected PHP MySQL, and I hit save. I'm not going to do it here now. That's it. There's other things down here you don't need to worry yourself with. This I do because it helps you with your path. It helps write your code when you do that, so that's why I do that. Always make sure when you're creating your sites that you have a folder over here for CSS, a folder for images, a folder for JavaScript. You can right click here and do new file to do that if you want to do that, or new folder. I think it's new folder. Yeah. You got to be here, I think. And yeah, be on the first folder, the root. Then hit new folder and you can name whatever you want to do. Okay. All right, that's all I've got to show you. So if it's not displaying and you feel that it should be displaying, check your site setup. Make sure you've got a site defined. Try looking at it in LiveView. I hope some of this stuff helps you. Thanks. Bye.